Hello and welcome to Silver Street, the home of Willand Rovers, just a few miles north of Exeter, where today 10th place Willand Rovers take on 9th place Mousehole in the Southern League Division 1 South. The sides played each other in mid-October and Mousehole were the 4-0 victors, but lots has happened since then. Willand themselves have a very strong home record, and Mousehole of course will be looking to bounce back from that defeat at Trungle Park against the 8th Town. We're all set here for what should be a very competitive game between two sides on the same amount of points in the Southern League. Mitch, welcome to Mousehole. Tell us how you're feeling now, having joined the club on loan till the end of the season.
Yeah, no, really excited to get started today. Obviously I trained with the boys on Thursday night, and such a good group of lads that made me feel really welcome. So no, yeah, really excited to be down here.
Talk us through a little bit about what you're expecting to bring to this club as a player in the midfield there, just as a number 10 role, and how you've spoken to the coaches about that.
Yeah, I think they just really want me to express myself. I think I'm quite a creative player, so I want to try create as many chances to score and assist as possible. So yeah, I like to bring a bit of spark to it. So.
Finally, trained obviously on Thursday night, playing today, big game for the club, tight one in the positions in the table. How are you feeling coming into it off the back of that session?
Yeah, nervous but excited. I want to show the coaches and stuff what I've got, what I can bring to the squad. Hopefully play loads more games in the future to the end of the season, get myself started in a couple of games. So yeah, sweet.
Cheers, Mitch.
Go, boys! Go, boys!
Well, it's half-time here at Silver Street, and it's Willand Rovers, the home side, who started well, who've got themselves the lead at the interval. They need 1-0 here, which means now for J. Cassius Mousehole, they'll need a comeback in the second half if they are to get a draw or a win from this game. It's been a competitive one, but Willand, after a very good start, have their goal. Mousehole have it to do in the second half here. In we go. Well, it's full time here at Silver Street, and it's ended Willand Rovers 2, Mousehole 1. It's a defeat that leaves the coaching staff with quite a bit to work on. The players and the coaches have got together there and had a little bit of a chat about things, and they push on now to Trungle Park next week, where they'll play one of the top sides, Frome Town. On the day, it's another defeat for Mousehole away from home. It's ended at Silver Street, Willand Rovers 2, Mousehole 1. Hayden, defeat away from home, struggled a little bit away this season. What was your assessment of the game?
Yeah, it's a tough one to take, I'm not going to lie. All the boys are hurting, as they should be. I think first half we were okay. I think we were unfortunate to go in 1-0 down. It was a sloppy goal to give away. I think, like I say, first half we did okay. Second half we didn't really put any punches on them. We sort of just mulled through the game and went through the paces when, in actual fact, we should have been chasing a little bit more and putting a little bit more pressure on. So. Yeah, the boys are hurting. Like I say, we've struggled away from home. It's something we're trying to fix, and we're ultimately we need to fix. So we've got to get back on the training pitch and do something about that.
Just had a little bit of a chat there, all of you, the coaches, the players, of course, sort of sitting in mid-table. Now, at this stage of the season, is it sort of now, when you're talking in those groups, it's looking to, right, now can we push on? Can we become a playoff team? And in terms of, what do you think has got wrong in the last few weeks in terms of that?
It's never just one simple thing that's an issue. Like you said, we're having them chats now because we want to be in the playoffs. We want to be pushing to get promoted and doing all we can to finish higher up the table. You know, there's a lot of boys that that put a lot of hours and effort into coming down and training. So we want to make that worthwhile for everybody. In terms of what's going wrong, I think it's little bits that maybe we've shifted away from last year from a player's perspective. We've got to obviously look at ourselves in that respect and see what we're not doing right individually and as a team. And like I say, just work on the little bits, and then the overall performance will come, I'm sure.
Jake, difficult one to take today, I imagine. Defeat away to Willand Rovers. Give us your assessment to start things off.
Thought we were good first half. In finding little bits of space, and then just didn't quite come off around the box. Willand did a really good job of making it difficult when we got in around the box. The first goal, and we've had a chat about it afterwards. We can't just keep saying it, we talk about maybe being better in possession, but ultimately we have to look at the goals that we're conceding, and they're just not good enough. So you make life difficult. You find yourself 1-0 down away from home again by conceding goals like that. I don't mind if teams like carve us open. I can live with that, but they haven't done that. They did it. They did a few times in the first half, but the goals haven't come from that. And then the second goals, that's another set piece. So we can talk a lot about being better on the ball, which we need to be, but we need to be better at stopping goals. That's the reality of it. So disappointing. Some bright spots. Don't get me wrong. I thought Mitch was really lively, really good. What first impression he's made. I thought he was outstanding. And getting Josh Yotto back on the pitch as well is great. So, I'm really disappointed with the result, but I'm hopeful, with those little glimmers of light that there's better to come.
Jake, I wanted to ask you, of course, just a bit over the halfway point now in the Southern League, made a really strong start. Perhaps is some of the reality the league has set in since then. You've had a big chat there with the players and then a bit of a chat with the staff. Seems like a lot of things are being said. How do you assess things so far and then push on to these, not final few games, but sort of just under second half of the season now? And what are you looking at to change maybe in the next few games or in the remainder of the season to push on with this team and make it a playoff team and make something worthwhile out of this season?
I think the season will be worthwhile, wherever we finish. We always set high standards and we always want to do well. But it's new to us. We're finding our feet, and that's okay. This a proper level of football now. You're playing against really good sides and good coaches who get teams organised. So I think we're about where we should be. The league tables is never lies, and this league's so tight that you go and win a couple, you move up 3 or 4 spaces, and you lose a couple, you move down 5 or 6. So I'm okay with where we are, but I want us to be better, and I think. We know what we're missing at the moment as a coaching group. The players have had a little chat about what they think needs to change, but we've done a lot of talking. We need to see it on the pitch. So, listen, it wasn't a bad performance in any way. We've had Bishop's Cleeve, shocking, Larkhall away, poor. We've been okay away, but we have to accept that we're too easy to beat away from home at the moment. So that's a big thing we take away. We know at home we'll cause teams problems. Last week was a bit of a weird one with the wind and what have you, but we know we're really good at home, and we need to find a way as a group, all of us, coaches, players, to be better away from home or more difficult to beat, because at the moment it's too easy, and that's my biggest takeaway so far. So that's a learning process for us as coaches, and the players as a group, and we will adapt, we will adjust, and it might need a bit of a transition period with a few players that maybe have run the race and they're running out of steam. Happens to everyone, Klopp this weekend. People come to the end of their time with things. I know I'm nowhere near that, and I want us to be better. So it might be that we need a few extra bodies and fresh minds, fresh eyes, to just inject a little bit of a different feeling, which we'll do. So we have to plan now from now to the end of the season how we want the team to look at the start of next season, and we know what we want and we know what we need. So the players have to show that they want to be part of that, and I know they do. They're desperate to do well. I know it hurts them losing games. So we'll review it as we always do. Come up with a plan away from home to be better. But we'll look forward to, I think, what's that, five away games left. I'll be glad to see the back of them, to be honest. But we'll use all of those to make sure that we come up with a plan to be more difficult to beat when we're on the road.
Cheers, Jake.